This is just the beginning. That's the world that we live in. Let me help you believe in what we can do when we stand united. We are one with the world. We can make a brighter tomorrow. Together make a change. It's our life. We can't step back from what we know is right. So let's shine our light. Oh, let's shine our light. We won't listen to what they're saying. We know it's just love that we're giving to this place that we call our home. We can't change what's been done, but it's still our run. We are one with the world. We can make a brighter tomorrow. Together make a change. It's our life. We can't step back from what we know is right. So let's shine our light.
Hi, I'm Sanjoy Roy, the co-chair of the Catalyzing Change Week Programming Committee. Welcome to CCW 2024. This is where you'll meet social innovators, change makers, folks from government and from bilateral agencies. And of course, this is the place to look at best practices, share ideas and innovations, and enjoy networking with each other. Welcome to the session.
So I guess I can start. Well, hello everyone. Firstly, I want to thank to Catalyze 2030 for this effort for catalyzing Change Week, and so far it's going really good. Although I couldn't follow some of it, I tried my best. And welcome everyone. So I'm Rabia Betul Gürel Mohebali, and I'm a social entrepreneur, climate and human rights activist. And our social entrepreneurship works on waste management, basically, and how we can use waste as something creative and as a big potential for changing the world, including human well-being. So can I have the slides, please? Thank you, Irene. Meanwhile, there will be some part for the questions and contributions. We will have several breakout rooms for some discussions together. And I'm so sorry I will show some disgusting things to you. I hope that you won't mind, because we are talking about waste today, and it's fun, actually. So what we can say about the transformative potential of waste, or is there any transformative potential of waste? So when we look at waste, what we see in general, and how can it affect the entire ecosystem and humanity in the best way. We will talk about this today. Next slide, please. Let me talk about our little social permaculture hub. Once upon a time, it was only 4 square meters. So we opened it in 2020 when we had the lockdowns as a takeaway cheesecake shop. That's how we started our journey. I'm also a permaculture designer, so we were dealing with lots of works about educating the kids for environmental awareness, working with the farmers and so on. But Annapurna started in 2020 in that little place. That's all, by the way. You cannot even fit in. And our aim was building bridges between rural and urban areas and cultivating communities with sustainable development goals and raising awareness about where does food come from and where does it go after. So we always, like, when we see a plate on our table, usually we don't think where does it come from, what kind of labor is in behind of it. We never think about worms or bees. We just eat it. And we don't think about the next journey and next step afterwards. So today we will talk about that. Annapurna started its journey with these aims. Next slide, please. And in 2021, we grew. So now here we are. It is a social permaculture hub. It's a place where people who share the same goals for a better future meet. Also, it serves as a cafe, and it works with local people, building communities. The farmers visit us, people meet the other people who grow their foods. They can even see the earthworms. We have little water ecosystems that they can experience. How does the water ecosystems work? We make workshops and meetings about SDGs and so on. Next slide, please. So today you see a picture of our community members who collected their organic waste, and with their compost points, they got some worm castings in return. Today we work on the SDGs quality education, especially for kids. Clean water and sanitation, but which is related with also soil health. We work on decent work and economic growth, especially with the marginalized groups. So we involve them into the ecosystem because we believe that the planet that we are living in and the environment that we are living in is the most important common thing between species, not only between human. We are working on reducing inequalities in terms of the people we work with, involving refugees, children, elderly people. And we are building communities in the cities that will also help the rural areas. Climate action is something we every day in our daily lives working on. And Life Below Water is our project that we will talk about later. It's called Quack Quack. We also work about soil regeneration. And since we work on human rights, it's really important, number 16. And we, of course, build a partnership for the goals That's why we are here at the same time. And thank you, Catalyst, one more time for giving us this opportunity. Next slide, please. So, what our project's aims? By the way, here in the picture, you see a little mushroom growing in the area that is fed with compost, which means that we have really good mycorrhizal system. We are talking about, like, imagine somewhere like New York in the middle of the city, or imagine really big metropolis, and the soil is almost entirely dead in terms of microbes in it, in terms of health. So this is what happens, how life starts slowly in the soil if you know where to put the waste. This means the life is working, the trees can communicate with each other, they can share their food, they can share their needs together, and this is a really important thing for the soil health. So we work on regenerating ecosystems. You see an example here about the soil, and we also work on freshwater conservation, which is really important considering the current water situation of our planet. And we work on restoring broken element cycles. This is where waste show up, because the main thing what human did in this planet is not producing waste. It is where we put our waste into. We're supposed to put it in the right place so that we won't break the we won't break the life cycle of the elements. We give education for kids, and we develop sustainable products to minimize environmental impact from waste, of course, and it's really good for also circular economy. We will see it in the next slides. And while we are doing it, we are reducing waste and we promote the reuse. So it brings also the innovation at the same time, and we see waste in really different way. I don't know if we can use this word, but with the pink glasses, and they look amazing, really. We also advocate human rights, especially for violated women and children. We give support. And we provide for victims of abuse and advocating their rights. We help to, we are trying to collaborate with other human rights institutions so that they can get psychological help or helps for the courts and their justice, and even shelter from time to time. And we also prefer to work to involve refugees and immigrants in the communities so that they can meet the locals and they can share some interests together. They can be partners for the same goals, because when you share the same goals, you become friends. Next slide, please. So let's come today. This was all about Annapurna. Today we will be focusing on how we see the waste. So I will show you some examples. Please don't get disgusted. And tell me if you don't see or understand what these are. This is fried oil waste, you see. And also it's inside of a jar. Most probably there were some, I don't know, maybe beans in it once upon a time. So I want you to think and keep these ways in your mind for the breakout rooms, because we will discuss what do we see in it. Here you see some toilet paper roll. Some more organic waste. Tell me if you can see or not. This is most probably, yeah, morning tea from us. You see some eggshells? Oh, sorry, my computer. And also this is some, it used to be black water, but it's cleaned by algae now. I think we also have some, yeah, living things inside of it. So I want to ask you if you can think what we can do about them. Oh, one more waste is here. Also these kind of packagings. And think that they will help people to feel better. They will help economic growth, and they will impact our planet not with carbon footprint, but carbon handprint instead. So we can go through the breakout rooms now. We will have 5 minutes for it. About these ways. Let's start with the fried oil. In our breakout room, there was a suggestion that we can reuse it. What about the other breakout room? Do you have any other ideas? You said to reuse it too. I see. About the packaging, what did the other breakout room think? Biofuel. Biofuel was for the waste oil, I guess, or packaging?
For the oil. That was Shilpa's suggestion.
That's true. That could be used. What about dirty water?
We said we could use it to water plants or yeah, plants or
irrigation. That's also true.
Yeah,
that's correct. And also we have some organic waste. What do you think about that? Composite, most probably. That's true. So we will see in the next slides what we can do with them. Can we go to the next slide, please? Here you see what we see in these waste. When we see the waste as entrepreneur, we always think about this. Let's upcycle it or reuse it before we recycle it so that we won't have more carbon footprint during the process. And there are crazy ideas showing up. At this point, when we have an idea, or when our community members have an idea, because we collect the waste all together, we think about them all together, and we are open to the innovation ideas. People come up with their thoughts. At the end, we decide what we can do with it. And sometimes we do more than one thing with them. Here you see the lemon peels, which became lemon lavender turmeric jam. And these lemon peels, actually, all these gems, also the jar, is collected by our community members. So it's supposed to, like, if it would go to the recycling bin, most probably it would be broken. And the process would start from the beginning. We will have lots of carbon emissions. And at the end, we believe that it's better to reuse it. So this product that you see is made by the waste that are collected by our community members by freezing the lemon peels. So now people got to the level of waste management awareness. They know how to store. They know how to separate them hygienically for better products. And these lemon peels, by the way, after the earthquake, we had a lot of them. And with the community members, we sent them all to the earthquake area for the people, because it's good for immune system. It has lots of vitamin C in it. It's boosting immune system with the turmeric in it, and it has lavender for the anxiety in it. So those lemon peels became functional food for earthquake victims. Next slide, please. So when we think about reusing it or upcycling it, we think also for economy and the people and economical growth, how we can hire more people for this. And usually when it comes to the food waste, it is really good thing about it that we can work with women, especially in the kitchen. And also there is one more thing about organic waste, that we keep talking about carbon, but we don't mention the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, which farmers are using them as chemicals. Thank you, Saran. Farmers are using them as chemicals for their products, which is also affecting our fresh waters. And they are giving a golden shot effect for the plants. Just they grow soon and fast, but then they drop it because we need the microbes to digest the elements and give it to the soil slowly, not suddenly, with the water. So in this part, when we use organic waste for healing the soil, we are also increasing its capacity for water retention with sealing the carbon in the soil, giving some place for the microbes, worms to reproduce themselves. And we have a healthy soil, living soil. What we do is we do form castings, of course, from the rest of it before we think what we can produce. But the rest, we leave it to our worms. After that, we share it with the farmers, because we take the elements from the soil in the rural areas, take it to the urban, and leave it there, which causes desertation in the agricultural areas and fields. Erosion, the soil loses its water retention capacity. Soil dies. So the food that comes from these areas, their nutrition values are not the same as it used to be 30, 50 years ago, which causes obesity today with the people, because we keep eating, but we don't get the nutritions. So 15 years ago, maybe we were eating 1 tomato and it was fine for us. But today we are eating 3 tomatoes, but we want to eat more because our body doesn't get the nutritions from it, because the soil is that. It is dust now. It's not soil. And what happens to the farmers is they slowly quit buying the chemicals or supplements for soil, and they will slowly having real soil. And in this case, they are not spending money for the soil anymore. And we are getting the balance slowly. I already mentioned nutritious and affordable food for everyone, because if we keep doing this, healthy food would be more affordable. If we all decide to change this cycle together, healthy food would be available for everyone, because everybody would produce it and it would be easy. And also because farmers are not making lots of expenses for chemicals, because when the immunity system of the soil is not good, the immunity of the plants is not good. So they're open to aphids, any kind of troubles and diseases, because soil is not healthy, their immune system is not healthy. And the finances that the farmers are spending for these kind of products is dropping. Meanwhile, they don't water this much. Meanwhile, they are not bringing lots of how do you say, fertilizers from somewhere else, so they are not using fuel this much. So at the end, we have carbon footprint, less food, more affordable food, happy farmers at the same time. And also we can send them back the packaging. That's what we do. When farmers are coming to us for dropping products, they are getting their packaging back, even more packaging back. When the farmers are using these chemicals, and then water it with fresh water, of course, our fresh water is getting poisoned by all those chemicals. At the end, eventually, we are drinking it. Even though soil sanitated in certain level, it's still there. It doesn't get cleaned easily. We get it back, the right elements to the right places. If we put them back in the right places, we are also cleaning our water, and the water doesn't evaporate this much because the soil holds it, which means we are also preventing water crisis at the same time. And also, vegetative growth is getting regenerated and brings the wildlife back. Next slide, please. So here you see one of our community members collected lots of eggshells. What we do with it? Believe me or not, but eggshells could be used in construction industry as a nutrition supplements, in decoration, for making toys, packaging, gardening, and agriculture. Because when we look at the eggshells, we don't see only eggshells. We see calcium carbonate, which is being used in the construction industry for ages. But at the same time, if we use eggshells in the construction industries, again, I will talk about the earthquake situation in Turkey. Now, the water is polluted there because of the waste of the constructions, and soil is in horrible condition and people cannot breathe. So if we use compostable materials, which will be also strong, such as eggshells, because they are really strong, in construction industries, imagine if we will have a disaster, we won't pollute the soil, we won't pollute the water. And it really is possible with our waste. Also, what we do with eggshells is we sterilize them, we make powder, and we share it with the veterinaries for wildlife animals as a calcium supplement, because it's really good for the broken bones, for example. And we have learned that they are losing lots of money to get calcium supplements for wildlife animals. And then we take a look back to history when we see that eggshells have been used as ceramic material. They're really strong. They can be used as you can make watercolor with it. You can use it as a base, and you can use the natural pigments. There are lots of things that we can do with one eggshell. And these ideas comes when you put all people together, engineers, I don't know, even like 90 years old grandma, she says like, oh, we used to do this with eggshells. And this is when waste brings us all together to cooperate all together for creating something new, for innovation. And this is possible. Next slide, please. We also work on the project called Not at All. Now our community members are collecting the nut shells separately. And what do we do with that? We are making Montessori and Waldorf toys. Because we are using it as natural polymer-based product development, which means you use wood or this one. It's the same thing. So you can make chips from it. You can use 100% compostable glue and healthy glue. The kids can put that in their mouth and nothing bad will happen. And when the kids are losing their toys, it will be compost for the soil. And it really is easy. I mean, we are not working in the industrial size, but we are open for collaboration for this, and this is our future plan. You can use it in the dye industries. It's a really good red color that you get from walnut shells for your hair. You can use it as packaging. You can make cups from it for takeaway products. You can use it in gardening, for agriculture as a mulch for ages, as a carbon source for your compost. And there are lots of other ways. So we just need to learn how to look at walnut shells and to see what is that chemically based. That's all. All these materials, before they go to the compost, they can even be used in thousands of industrial products. Next slide, please. So we have other projects. You saw the dirty water, and this, you see our shrimps and our little guppies there. There is this plant called duckweed up there. It gives the name of the project, by the way. And that water was, I believe that we made it polluted 10 times. And we put it in a glass jar. And we put the ecosystem members in it. So you see a water which is clean and pure now. It was like totally grayish, blackish color. It was cleaned by shrimps freshwater mussels because they are also cleaning the chemicals. So this means that you can clean the polluted lakes and ponds and freshwaters by using freshwater mussels. And when you do that, you can get shrimp slowly, the other elements of water ecosystems, plants, which will produce oxygen at the same time. These systems can be also used even for the polluted water from, let's say, black water or from our toilets, because we are putting the nitrogen there. The duckweed you saw there on the top of the water, it is like spirulina. You can use it as nutrition supplement. You can make biopackaging with it. But the greatest thing, you can make carbon hand printed biofuel from it. So you make biofuel from a plant which cleans the freshwater ecosystems, and it is doing it while it's absorbing the carbon dioxide from the air. It's a good source of nitrogen because it collects the nitrogen in the water. And in this water ecosystem, we never change anything. We don't clean it. We do nothing. It's an ecosystem that plants give oxygen in it. The animals take it. We have good bacteria in it. It smells like you're next to a pure, pristine lake. And it's a food source for people. It invites the wildlife back. Meanwhile, as you see here, biofuel, bioplastics. There are also a lot of other things that you can do with these plants. It can be good nitrogen-based fertilizer for farmers. You can make ethyl alcohol from it. You can use it in the agriculture. And most important thing, water birds love it. So you can even, with this plant, at the same time, you can even call the nature back, because we know that the immigration path of the water birds has changed a lot. And also this plant is covering the top of the water, which means you have less evaporation. Next slide, please. These were only some examples. We also collect the candles, candle waste, we make new candles from it, which is also income for our hub. Let's come to the fried oil, by the way. We never buy any kind of cleaning products in our hub. All our hub has a soap for hands from fried oils, a soap for cleaning from fried oils, a soap for washing the dishes from fried oils. It is a good source when you mix it with potassium hydroxide, like a liquid soap. And also you can use it with sodium hydroxide for solid soap. So we don't buy any chemical cleaning products for our hub, which makes our hub to not make the water polluted at the same time with chemicals, because it's we also made lots of experiments with it, and the pH level of the water after this is in neutral ways. So you can even water your plants with that water, and you will add extra potassium for the soil. Let's talk about social impact and well-being. Now, we can think how we can use the waste management to benefit marginalized groups and enhance social well-being. Let's think about it all together, and we will talk about that afterwards. So Madalena was saying something, but the time was over. So next slide, please. Okay, also one question. I will be faster. I was thinking that 1 hour is a lot for me, but so we build communities. You see here, group of people, including me. We have a lot of space in our hands. Some of our members come and pass. We really miss them, by the way, by the time. But we have a family all around the world now, just because of waste. It's like everybody travels into your hub from all different parts of the world because they are passing by. There are Erasmus students, immigrants, refugees, expats. And at the end, you have embassies all around the world who know the idea, who want to share it. It is great financial relief for producers. Packaging, especially. The farmers are like, when we supply food from the farmers, now we have lots of discount because we give them the packaging. They say, like, sometimes they even gift it because they say, you are collecting it from the cities. Sometimes we give them like thousands of egg boxes, for example. So they are really happy with that because they would pay half cents for every egg box. But they have it back. And also, we give them a chance to sell their products in the hub. Thank you, Hira. That is also really important because they really pay a lot for packaging. And the carbon footprint behind of packaging is horrible. The chemicals behind of packaging is really, it's not necessary, actually. Employment and economic growth. In the I mentioned it before, but there are lots of housewives, especially in our community, in some countries, that want to put some effort for their families financially. So and they are really good at kitchen. They can create amazing dishes, amazing stuff from it. And when they are seeing the ideas, they say, oh, I can do that. For example, use textile. They make carpets from it. They are really good at producing. They really enjoy it. And at the same time, the people, the groups that have more awareness about waste management and environment are mostly the well-educated people and young people. I'm talking about our sociological environment. And they are meeting those housewives. And 4 of the housewives from our community started to study in business management because they want to learn more about circular economy now. So this is how the impact grows. And also, there are lots of, sometimes it happens in society that people are getting polarized. They see each other with different glasses. Waste is a solution for it. It's really interesting, but it is. And with the marginalized groups and global economy, we believe the potential of anything we can only see when we put that piece of puzzle in the right place in the big puzzle. It's the same with the waste. It's the same with the human. We keep talking about our resources, but we don't see people as resource. We have this human resources management department, but the people in the street who walks right now, they also ask for their best potential to put in the right place in the puzzle. And when you involve them in it, you cannot imagine the potential of those people. At the same time, they come close to each other in different culture, especially in indigenous cultures. They were already thinking about sustainability without naming it, because they are still respecting nature as a tradition. They come up with crazy ideas, unbelievable ideas. And locals, for example, they are really getting inspired by them. And they are putting their prejudices on the other side. So this is the power of waste. And it increases intergenerational communication. The kids are sitting with grandmas, which they lost maybe, after the pandemics. The kids, the vulnerable groups, they got affected more. The kids couldn't socialize with their age, with elder people. We tried to keep the kids and the elder people safe, so they couldn't see lots of people. They couldn't go out. And we opened exactly at the time of the pandemics. So the grandmas who doesn't have grandchildren, they meet the kids. They teach kids how to do something. The kids are learning more about respecting elder people. So we are getting a harmony and balance in between generations. They feel like elder people feel like, I mentioned it in the breakout room. One of them told us, I would have died 2 years ago if you wouldn't give me a mission. We didn't give it to her. She was just drinking water. That was all. She was asking for water in our hub because we believe in free water for everyone because it's human and living being rights. That was all. And now she is making baskets from the IVs or from worn out clothes. And she's doing it with the kids. She was a violated woman. Now she has grandchildren. So when you put the people together in the same aim for everyone, you cannot believe what they can achieve. And they are also coming up with these project ideas that we are sharing it with funders. And who knows, maybe one day, one of these grandmas would be in the I don't know, circular economy, empowering women, or social entrepreneurship project funded by European Union or by United Nations for Women. Maybe she doesn't even know how to read. But we need their experience. We need the energy of the kids and their happiness. We need to put all pieces of the puzzle in the right places. Next slide, please. So I'm going to read this because I really thought a lot about this conclusion. We ask you as our global community, let's shift our perspective to see the potential and abundance within waste. It's a reminder of how humankind has disrupted element cycles. Rather than blaming carbon, let's focus on restoring balance by returning each element to its rightful place. Together, we have the power to heal ecosystems and humanity. Through innovative, circular economy-based approaches, we can achieve sustainable economic growth together. Thank you. If you have any questions, I can answer. I don't know the time. I hope that I could manage it well. There were some questions on the chats.
Hi, Rabia. We do have one question.
Yes, please.
But I'd also like for us to allow people that wanted to leave because it's past the session time. They can, just in case. So the question is from Shilpa. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And it says, Rabia, wonderful work and informative solutions. I would like to understand, what about the plastic and other pollutants present in the water? How about the organism not getting affected by it?
There are, in this case, plastic also comes from the earth, eventually. It's made from fossil fuels. And recently there are some, if we think about something dead in the ecosystem, such as fuel, fossil fuels, it means something is dead. We always need to think about the places of fungi, because fungi are the solution, are the bridge between death and life. So there are fungi that can be used to digest plastic waste and decompose it so that it could be used from the nature itself. We need to know them more. We need to know them more. We need to know bacteria more. We need to know virus more. We need to know fungi more. They're incredible. Today, we are healing all the inflammations by a fungi, penicillin. So we need to observe more. We need to love them. If we stop seeing the nature from the top of a hill, if we know our places, and if we try to meet them, know them, I think we can find all the solutions inside of the nature itself. I hope that I could answer your question well, Shilpa. Thank you too. Are there any more questions? Did we run out of time?
Very good.
By the way, if any of you would be interested in cooperating, because we plan to make this as a global movement for every city, every neighborhood in the future, we would be glad to cooperate, to collaborate with you, to share our experience with you. We are also open to your ideas about this, because our future plan is set a prototype for waste management by public with fun and all together.